Breaking update coming in this hour. Security forces in Kashmir have found the body of the soldier who was abducted earlier today. He was abducted from the Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, these are the visuals of that soldier. The story broke a few hours earlier where it was confirmed that security forces have launched a massive search operation for the soldier of the Indian Army. WION's political editor Kartikeya Sharma joins me on the phone line for more on the story. Kartikeya, this tragic news out of Kashmir doesn't seem to end after Shujat Bukhari now confirmation that this army jawan has also been killed.
It's such a sad day in the history of the valley that not only a journalist who spoke about middle ground in J&K was gunned down by the terrorists, but terrorists also gunned down the army men. And I think it's time to realize that sometimes that the strength of a state just does not flow from strong social media posturing. It's not as if that terrorism did not exist in Kashmir in 1980, but I think it has crossed all limits, and there has to be some accountability. And I'm not here to pass any judgment on any politician or any ruling dispensation, but I think Mehbooba Mufti has to be answerable for what is happening in the valley for one simple reason. Not only people from the civil society are being targeted, but the people who serve this country, patriots, they are being targeted, people who join army, state institutions. And I really don't want to go into the religious denomination of people who are being killed or any other thing, but the fact that the discourse has become so caustic that it has completely vitiated the atmosphere in the valley, and we have to see it from a different perspective, that there has to be some sort of a disengagement and differentiation between an average Kashmiri and the terrorists. There is no denying the fact that the Pakistan and the terrorists have unleashed mayhem in the valley, and it is something which we need to look from a different perspective, that the position which we have taken from past 3 to 4 years, has it benefited the valley? Has it benefited our army? Has it benefited our jawans? Has it benefited our people? No one has been benefited. People have died. It's not just about a person from our community being killed. Every second day, an army jawan is being targeted. Someone has to be responsible for that.
Absolutely. And also, Kartikeya, this comes at a time when, there's this UN report that's come out alleging violence on the hands of security forces. But doesn't it simultaneously raise the question of the fact that during a ceasefire that is called by the central government during Ramzan, you still see these terrorists acting brazenly, carrying out these, targeted killings on people, like you said, in civil society, people who've joined the forces. It seems like the conversation is very one-sided at this point in time.
I think, the blunder has been of a Herculean nature. It's like Shivraj Patil calling for a truce with the Maoists. It ultimately ended up beefing them up. And the truce within the valley, welcomed by Mehbooba Mufti, has completely backfired. But, I have to say this on record, that the discourse in itself is extremely vitiated. We have to understand this globally. Do hard actions work? Has the Russian action in Dagestan and Chechnya worked? Has any action like this in any part of the world worked? Has the troubled areas in West Asia been stabilized? With great urban density and migration of people to cities, it does not happen. What is the worst part? When we interact with people, I have to say this on record now. When I was in Congo, and with a contingent with the Indian troops in UN, most of the army men said that this vitiation of the discourse where you take very hard position, ultimately people from army get killed, It's very easy to take an extremely hard linguistic position in Delhi. But what about those people who serve on the border?
Right.
What about journalists who work there? Ultimately they end up getting killed. We have to differentiate between an action against terrorists, action against Pakistan, which promote these terrorists, and people who stand at the middle. And ultimately what is happening? People who stand at the border, which is our people, jawans, and people who are at the middle, journalists like Mr. Bukhari, they end up getting killed.
Right. We leave it at that, Kartikeya. It is a sad day indeed. First news of Shujat Bukhari's murder, and now we can confirm that the Indian Army soldier who was abducted earlier today, he was on leave, mind you, a day before Eid, has been found dead as well.